Hey guys, Six Shooter here. I'm gonna give you an update on this Ruger. If you saw the previous video, was not a very big fan of this little slick little 380 LCP. But now I've done a series of upgrades to it. I want to share with you guys, and boy, it's I like it. I like it a lot now. So let's just dive right on in. First thing first, magazine's empty and chamber is cleared. Let's do it twice. Nothing in there. We got a good to go. Okay, first thing first is I'm going to do these in orders of importance, at least it was to me. Is the first thing to do is this Hogue grip. I think I got it off eBay for like $12 or something like that, and this alone transformed this pistol into something really enjoyable to shoot. Beforehand, it was like jumping out of my hand, hard to hold, and I've got pretty good sized hands, and I couldn't get a good grip on it. But what this does is adds a little bit of thickness here, adds a little bit of thickness there, and what ends up happening is now when I grip it like that, it's got a little bit more not only just padding, but a little thickness back there, and so now I can get a good hold of it, and and it really did the difference. I'm really impressed with what it had done. To put this in, what they do is when you buy it, they'll ship this and this pin that comes in there, and it's just a little longer than the original pin. And this is don't let it spook you or anything like that. It's real easy to do. Go buy yourself a set of pin punches, and these are made by Starrett, so they're a little bit pricier, but you can get them at Home Depot for $6 to $10 for a set. Take yourself a roll of tape, lay your gun on top of it like this. I'm gonna get this camera in focus so you can get a good see. And I won't punch it out, but it's real simple. You just find the diameter that closely resembles this one and put it on top of it, and just simply tap the top, tap this out. I could almost probably, if I pressed hard enough, push it out with my hand. At least this one, because I've had it out before. And it doesn't take a big hard hit. I think these pins here may be even made of plastic, if I remember correctly. So just tap that pin out, and then the other thing to do with it, which is really simple, is the original pistol comes with see this little indentation here. It comes with a little plastic piece, and in the back you just take a pick or something and push it in, and just pull that plastic piece off. And what this grip does, it uses that in place of it. Let me see if I can zoom in here. And it slides up right here where that plastic piece was. So just take the pin and the plastic piece and put it in a little Ziploc bag and throw it in the original box or something like that. And then you just slide this on, and then pop, put that pin back through, and you're done. That easy. Most important upgrade I think you could do to this pistol is add that grip to it. I think I like this one. I like Pacmar grips on all the other pistols that I have, but for this one, I think this is the best one, because the Pacmar seems to come up here and stop, where this comes all the way up. And with my larger hand, that makes a big difference. The second thing that I did is if you can take a look, see, is I changed the trigger out. And if you go up online, and you can Google LCP triggers or anything like that, but it'll take you to this website, and what this guy is doing is making these out of machined aluminum. Let me get a good close look there. And they're unfortunately they're a little pricey. I think they were $55 and now they're $45. And I said, well, God, that's a lot of money, but okay, I'll give it a whirl, and let's see what goes down with it. Anyway, the website, if I didn't say it, is RTK Triggers, and he'll give you a point by point and photographs of exactly how to break this thing down and put it in there. Very simple, but the reality is, once you take the slide off, you punch out this pin here and the back pin, and then there's a little crossbar here that the spring's tied to, just lift this up, let it loose, undo the spring, and let it dangle. It's fine. And then once these two pins are out that you just tap out, this whole system, of course the slide's already off, just comes straight up, and it's straight up and out. And then you're just left with the body of the frame. It's that simple. And just follow the instructions. There's nothing to be feared of. There's nothing really crazy or spring loaded that's going to jump out at you. It's very simple to change this. It didn't take me probably, maybe 15 minutes at most tearing everything down. But what does this trigger do? It's a lot wider and a lot lower. And the thing that they talk about is trigger bite, where the original trigger is so short that sometimes this soft pad of your finger would get caught in that. I didn't really have that much of a problem. I just thought it was kind of mushy. It just plasticky and didn't feel that good. So one of the things when I was looking online was they've got these set screws in here, and I was, online it's not really clear what that's telling you. And if I can, what you do is, if you see this hole right in there, you put a little Allen wrench in there, and there's a set screw that's back here. Now you don't see much of it sticking out. Let me get a good zoom in on this if I can. Nope, I really can't. I can't get a good zoom. And then there's one deep inside of the front. Anyway, and it's actually underneath here. You can see it. Where's my little pick? You can see it. I'm going to point at it with my pick right there, up here on the top. And all that's doing is that the one on the front just picks up the slack on that end, and then the one on the back is just, where, let's safety check one more time. Where does it bottom out? So there's your brake. The slide comes back, and what that front stop screw is right there's your reset. Where does it, how much play do you want your trigger? And for me, it really wasn't that important to take out all this gap or all this play. But I play with it and adjusted it, and sure enough, you can set these things where you can pull the trigger back like this, and it won't fire. It'll like come back this far because the set screws bottom up against this frame here. But once I got that set, and then the reset and all this stuff, kind of got it where I thought I liked it. It worked fine, and it's a lot thicker and it just feels better. It's not plasticky. You can grip it, get a good finger on it, for larger hands. So the grip in combination with this trigger really made a big jump. If you go up there and look at his website, it's really hard. You'll think, well, where do I order this stuff from? I don't get it. There's nothing online. Well, there'll be a link on his page to a place called Galloway Precision, and apparently they sell items for the Ruger for triggers and springs and stuff like that. And this is where you order it. So the third thing that I got, the third upgrade, was what's called a reduced spring trigger pull. And when you go to Galloway Precision, look under LCP Performance Parts, and they've got a lot, a good little selection of stuff up there. But what they said is it reduces the trigger pull by 1.5 pounds. And the way that's done is there's a spring in this, for the firing pin, and there's a spring that runs up and down right through here. And very simple. Like I said, don't let it spook you. Don't let it throw you off. You don't have to be an engineer to figure this out. And I'll show it to you really quick. Up at the top of this is, you're going to see this. Let me zoom in. You're going to see this pin out right there, right here. So what you do is there's your firing pin right here, and just put your hand right here to keep it from springing out. But if you look at this little hole right there, right at this spot, well, this pin, if you kind of runs at a diagonal. It runs like this. And you just take, once again, take one of your punch outs and just match it to the diameter of the hole, and just take a little hammer and tap that out. And just put your hand here. This isn't going to go flying out, but it is spring loaded. And your firing pin will come right out. And then put the new spring on the firing pin, push it in, take something like this, and you see that the firing pin I can wiggle with my hand. Just take something, get your pin started, and then push this in and just kind of use your finger to push it in, and it'll hold it. Or a lot of times just use one of these things, drop it in there, and push the firing pin, drop your pin punch through it, and then flip it upside down. So it'll be like, of course this is going to be in that hole, and then tap it out. And as you tap this in, you'll be pushing this out, and this will hold the firing pin in place. That's how I usually do it. So I changed that out, and inside of here, I don't know if I have a flashlight with me or something. I'll try to zoom in. Oh, that's a decent shot. In here you can see there's the spring, and all it does is connect up here to the kind of the hammer assembly, and it comes down here, and there's a little pin that goes across that you can actually just use a pick like this and pull up and just don't lose your parts, but just let it dangle loose. You're not gonna mess anything up by doing that. So that was great. Once again, if I'd have put a weighting on there, that was 25% of making this gun where I like it. But the reality of it is, this grip is probably 60% of it. I mean, it really made a big difference. So that's 1 upgrade, 2 upgrade. The spring kit was the 3rd. Last but not least, I put these Pierce extensions on the magazines. And this is where I'm, I can't really say whether it's good or not. And I've got to shoot it some more to make sure that I've got to get used to it or not. But what I find is the original pinky grip that I put on here, is I put my hand here. If you can see where my hand crosses right there, the pinky grip was just fine for me, at least for me. What I find is this one's longer, but it doesn't really help me get 3 fingers on there. See, I'm really kind of crowded. So even though I like this, I think this is called a 1/2 inch. I think if you really have smaller hands, you may like this. If you have larger hands, or a guy or whatever, I think you either need to go with the original pinky extension if you don't like the flush, or buy the one that goes out, I believe it's 1.5 inches, where this shape becomes longer. Now I've got those on order. I'm going to give those a try where I can, at least at the range, I think I can get a better feel of it. But these right here are kind of in the middle of being irritating, because if I put my hand like this, or just roll my pinky underneath like that, it just doesn't seem to feel as good as the original extended pinky. Now this doesn't add any rounds to your magazine. It's just mostly there for comfort, and really simple to replace. There's a little pin in there, and you just push this down and slide it forward. Watch out for the spring. I'll just show it to you. So you just push this down and slide it forward, and there's your mechanism on the inside that you kind of hold down with your thumb, and then and then it comes off just like that. And there's your spring load. And to put it back on, you just push it down with your thumb. This has a little lip it catches. Push it down underneath, and it'll just pop right in place. Very simple. But anyway, long story short is, if you like the LCP for its size, which I do, and you're finding that it's a little difficult to shoot, the simplest upgrade is add this Hogue grip, because of the way this comes up. It paddens the recoil. It makes it a little bit thicker to grip onto, and it makes this thing really a lot of fun to shoot. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Be safe. Have fun shooting.